I'm not like loving this. And we are back to the nonsense. There's like no hope for finding the trail. And we're just fighting through these bushes right now, and it's awful. Good morning and welcome to the first Summer in the Sierra adventure of 2023. I am here in the Southern Sierra region today, and I plan on climbing Lamont Peak and Spanish Needle, which are two SPS peaks in this region. So I parked on Canebrake Road at the Lamont Peak trailhead, and right now we are at the Lamont Spur Trail, heading pretty much straight up. It's about 2.5 miles to the top, and I'm just happy to be out here hiking. This is our first look at Spanish Needle. That summit right there in the middle is what we're aiming for. But before we do that, we got to keep going up a little ways, get to the top of Lamont. We're just working our way up this sandy, kind of slippery trail. It's been a little tricky to follow, but not too bad. And we're just going up and up. On the right, that's our first view of the summit of Lamont. And then off to the left, you can see all these really cool pinnacles. That's a really nice ridge. Whoa. Bet you there's a register somewhere over there. And look what we found, the summit register. And there's the top, woohoo! Here we are at the summit of Lamont Peak, and it is a very nice place to be. This is west into the Domeland Wilderness. The middle of those three spires over there is Spanish Needle, which is my next objective. I'm gonna pretty much start heading this way, hit the PCT before I veer off to do Spanish Needle. I lost what little trail there was, and we've been bushwhacking for a while, so I'm following the GPS. I'm really close to the trail, but like this is what I've come through. This is what we're going through till we find it. Should be really close. This is that adventure factor. That was by far the worst bushwhacking I've ever done in the Sierra. After that nonsense we had to deal with back there, which was really bad, it's really nice to be on a trail and covering some ground again. So that's where we were, and oh my gosh, that was such a bushwhack. This beautiful patch of dirt is the PCT. Looks like a freeway compared to what I was just getting through. It feels so good to be on an established trail actually covering distance. Oh, I love moving. Don't really love bushwhacking. So we just got to the saddle. This is where we're gonna leave the trail. That Spanish Needle up there, it's gonna be a little interesting, but doesn't look awful. You know what it is, get it. This has been exceptionally slow going so far. There's all these like little ribs and you're going just up and down and up and down. And we are obviously deep in the talus zone and it's pretty loose, so it's really taken a lot to keep moving, and there's no way we're moving fast. Being back in the talus zone is kind of bittersweet. It's kind of like an inevitability when you hike in the Sierra, but it's definitely not like my favorite. No one really looks forward to this. It's just what you have to endure to get to the top. Please let me know in the comment section what your worst talus experience was. I really want to hear about it. Yeah, we've just been whacking along through everything from sand to scree to loose rock to solid rock. I'm about 99% sure that's the top right there, and I know that because that band of light rock right there is apparently the slab that's the crux of the route, or at least the mental crux of the route. So let's get there and get to the top really soon. This is the top, as far as I know. See, hey, I see a register. I just got to the summit of Spanish Needle, which is my 30th SPS peak, something I'm really proud of, and that was a ride. From where I left the trail, for a while, it was super brutal. I just in all this like really loose, really unstable, everything from like sand to trees to like loose gravel to like really exfoliating rock that was like not a lot of fun and was rattling me a little bit. And I was just fighting and feeling like I was going nowhere. I actually almost turned around. But soon after that, I was able to kind of follow a little track that some people had made from a previous attempt at this peak. And it eased, and by the time I got on the ridge, I actually was having a lot of fun, and I loved kind of just like riding that ridge to the end to get here. Summit views from the top of Spanish Needle. So we are looking south right now. I believe once again that's Owens Peak. Looking over there in the center of the screen is Lamont Peak, which was the first peak of the day. Looking north into the Sierra, it's beautiful. We're starting to swing now toward the east. Looking at the Owens Valley, into Nevada. A lot of desert down there. This is where kind of the mountains end and the Mojave Desert begins. So down there, it's definitely really dry and really hot, and I'm kind of happy I'm up here where it's much more pleasant. Got to do a sort of fancy move around this tree. And then the slab is directly below us. I think the plan is going to be to sort of drop low and then try to stay at about the same level as the saddle as I traverse over. I don't really want to go too low and have to make up for that on the way back to the saddle. This is some steep and loose scree ski, and this is really something. I'm not like loving this. Because like there's not the dirt doesn't have that much like depth to it. So it's like don't know if I'm gonna sink. It's not really super confidence inspiring. That looks like a trail to me. Oh my goodness. Yay. And now I've left the PCT and we're back to this Lamont Spur Trail. I'm a little terrified. If I could be a little less bushwhacky than I was on the way down, that would be amazing. So pray for me. We'll see what we get into.
A few moments later.
And we are back to the nonsense. There's like no hope for finding the trail. And we're just fighting through these bushes right now, and it's awful. I'm so cut up. Back on the trail. This is the last little bit of uphill going up to the false summit, and then it's all downhill to the car. Should be able to stay on the trail by now. Really happy to be on something established and have less than 2 miles to go to get to the car. We'll make it. Look what I see. I have never been more excited. Not a minute too soon. Oh. And 11 hours later, we are back at the car. That was a day. All the cross-country travel, the bushwhacking, the losing the trail really made it challenging. Happy I made it to the top of those 2 peaks. There were a lot of moments where I had a lot of fun, and then a lot of moments where I was getting brought through a car wash of twigs that really left me a little cut up. This seems to be kind of what happens early season in the Sierra. Last year I bit off way more than I could chew on that Mount Morgan Little Lakes Peak traverse. It was a really long day. And once again, here we are, a year older, supposed to be a year wiser, making pretty much the same mistakes. I'm just happy to be down safe in one piece. Now we're gonna go camp, get some dinner, and then continue this adventure. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you on another California adventure.